Please rise for a Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, North Schuylkill. I'm Doug Weiss.
And I'm Audrey Mastician. Every year, up to 400,000 people visit the Bloomsburg Fair. This week, students from a number of schools, classes, and clubs were also in attendance. Members from Enviathon created a project about invasive species that is also on display along with work from other school districts. Students from AP Statistics collected data from food vendors and also enjoyed the day off. The marching band performed musical routines for fairgoers. The band will also be featuring their talents here at Spartan Stadium tomorrow for their annual band competition. Lizzie Andrukavich has more information about the upcoming performance with two members of the band.
Hi, I'm Lizzie Andrukavich here within the news. I'm here with Gracie Orozco and Emily Bile. They're part of our competition marching band, and we have a couple questions for you guys. So, Gracie, what goes into preparation of a competition marching band show?
Okay, well, first off, competition marching band is very different from football band in that we get scored for our performance. So really we'll have 4 weeks of band camp, and we'll go from like 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. just like learning drill, like where you go on the field and music and whatnot, and putting it all together. Also, for our show this year, you have to kind of get into character. So you have to kind of find that emotional place inside you to try to, become that person. Once you step foot on the field, you're a different person from your normal life. And also, we have practices Tuesdays and Thursdays after school every day to just kind of make sure everything is clean for Saturdays when our competitions come.
So the show this year is entitled Anxiety. Can you explain what the show is and what the music is behind it?
Okay, so anxiety is basically based off the fear of opening a door, and it's pretty much centered towards like the millennials, so that way like they can understand it and comprehend it. And it's being afraid to open the door, and it's like just being afraid to talk to people in general in a way. And the music is basically classical music, and it's like shaped so that you can emotionally go through the experience of opening the door. And if you want to find out who's behind the door, then you better come on Saturday.
Okay, and one final question. So in the past years, Gracie, you've been marching on the field and playing. How is that different now that you're a drum major and directing this band?
So Emily and I are both drum majors, if you didn't know that, which means like we do this a lot. And it's very, very different to be a drum major and be in front of the band, because in past years we've marched and you're one with the band and you're working together as a team to perform. Whereas when you're the drum major, you're kind of helping to keep everything together, and you kind of have to step up and be sort of a leader within the band. It's very different from being one with the band to being sort of outside of it, just watching them. And watching them perform is just the most amazing feeling, because you're like, wow, this is my band. Like, I'm so proud of them, and it's just a humbling feeling.
So what's with this door? Should I open it?
Be there at 6:15 to see us perform at Spartan Stadium on Saturday. See you there.
Next Wednesday, October 4th, an informational meeting will be held for those interested in a trip to Hawaii. The trip is planned for June 2019 and will feature attractions such as a traditional luau, a visit to Pearl Harbor, and a trip to the pineapple plantation. Any interested students or staff should attend a meeting at 5 p.m. in room 650.
15 students were elected to the student council by their peers. One of their first actions was the selection of Spirit Week celebration days. This year, a suggestion box was placed in the library for student submissions. Monday will be Stay Home from School Day. Tuesday is Tacky Tourist Tuesday. Wednesday is Dynamic Duo Day. Wacky Thursday, and the week will end with Patriotic and Spartan Pride Day. Next week's In the News will feature a segment with more detailed explanation of how to appropriately celebrate Homecoming Week.
On Monday, students are asked to wear blue to raise awareness for the bullying issues that continue to affect the youth of our schools. This is a big week for football fans in Pennsylvania. On a local scale, fans were treated to a thrilling comeback victory against Mount Carmel Red Tornadoes. The win allowed the Spartans to continue a flawless record as they take on the Lehighton Indians, another unbeaten team, tonight.
Another down-to-the-wire win came on the collegiate level when Penn State capped a 12-play, 80-yard drive with a walk-off touchdown to defeat Iowa in the final seconds of the game on Saturday.
McSorley across the middle, touchdown! Jawan Johnson, Penn State wins it, a walk-off touchdown!
In addition to the exciting final offensive effort, junior running back and Heisman hopeful Saquon Barkley wowed spectators throughout the night with his impressive speed, strength, and skill.
McSorley from the pocket on 3rd and 6, flips it backwards to Barkley, hurdles a man and makes a first down. What did you say before, Superman? Come on.
It's like it was the only thing that was left for him to do. I mean, that was it. What else is there? By the way, he takes a hit and lands. He lands it.
With games like this, it's not a surprise that everyone's talking about football. Everyone, including President Trump, that is, but he is more concerned about the politics. As the attention grows around the NFL's protest of the national anthem, players, coaches, celebrities, and spectators are all weighing in with their opinions. Although the symbolic gesture has been under fire since Colin Kaepernick's initial display last year, this weekend proved to be a powder keg of controversy, starting with Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin.
The headlines have been challenging for the NFL over the past 48 hours with some remarks coming from President Trump. You saw what happened this morning in London with the first game being played. How have you handled that with this team going into this game?
You know, these are very divisive times for our country. And, you know, for us as a football team, it's about us remaining solid. We're not going to be divided by anything said by anyone. And that's the thing that I posted to our guys. I said, if you feel the need to do anything, I'm going to be supportive of that. As Americans, you have that right. But whatever we do, we're going to do 100%. We're going to do together. We're not going to let divisive times or divisive individuals affect our agenda.
Prior to official play at Soldier Field in Chicago, the cameras focused on lone Pittsburgh Steeler standing with his hand over his heart during the anthem. Offensive tackle and former Army Ranger Alejandro Villanueva has since been hailed as an American hero for his action. According to CNN, Villanueva's jersey is now leading in online sales, and the former Ranger stated that all profit from its sales will go to benefit military nonprofit organizations. After the spotlight on Villanueva, photos circulated that showed other Pittsburgh Steelers standing behind him in the tunnel. Tomlin's initial intention was to avoid controversy by not making any type of public display. On Monday, Villanueva made a public apology to his teammates, coaches, and fans of the team for his actions.
I've made Coach Tomlin look bad, and that is my fault, and that is my fault only. I've made my teammates look bad, and that is my fault only. And I made the Steelers also look bad, and that is my fault and my fault only.
Other teams have also been displaying symbols of unity and support. The Dallas Cowboys, along with owner Jerry Jones, locked arms and knelt prior to the anthem and then stood for its playing to appease both sides of the controversy. This move was done after President Trump took to his Twitter account to blast the entire NFL organizations. President Trump also came under fire after his public admonishment of players.
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a off the field right now. Out. He's fired. He's fired.
Trump's comments to the media about the NFL protests left him open to attack from the public. Both celebrities and private citizens began bashing Trump for his lack of action to support and aid the people of Puerto Rico who are still suffering the wrath of Hurricane Maria.
While half of the American public is speaking out against Trump, the other half is in agreement, seeing that protests are an affront to American values. Fans have flooded social media with videos of themselves burning jerseys and other gear from their formerly favorite teams. The response of the public has been so strong, in fact, that DirecTV is actually refunding customers who purchased the cable package NFL Sunday Ticket if they are personally angered by the protests. Freedom of speech is an important topic, and it's essential to know what spoken or symbolic speech is protected and what is prohibited. Let's hear from Mr. Roseberry.
Hi, I'm Dan Tomtitian here with Mr. Roseberry. Mr. Roseberry, with everything in the news today, what's the expectation for students regarding the pledge and the anthem?
I think as a principal of the building, I have to always take into consideration everyone's freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and at the same time be aware of what's out there, what precedents have been set in the court, what's appropriate and not appropriate, oftentimes leaving my own belief out of it. And with that being said, I think the courts have established that for the pledge and for the national anthem, when it comes to school, that you have to be very respectful, that you stand and you honor the flag, you say the Pledge of Allegiance. If you choose not to do that, you have to do it in a way that doesn't distract from any other students. And so you have the right, as established in the court, to do that. You would have no right to put on any type of protest or to take away somebody else's right to pledge to the flag or to respect the national anthem. A lot's been happening in society, and I know with the NFL and NBA, and we all probably have strong beliefs about it. And when you come into school, you kind of have to set those beliefs aside. I think we have to be able to talk about it, and we have to be able to see both sides. But we do have freedom of speech. But as soon as you come into the school, you lose some of those freedoms. And so I think I like what's happening in society, because I think these are conversations that we need to have. It is hard for me to keep my own personal belief system out of it. But I did send something out to the teachers recently that just said, hey, this is the way the courts view this. This is what we have to do as a school. Set your own personal beliefs aside and make sure that the students are not disrespecting or taking away from somebody else's right. But also to make sure that, we would encourage all students to stand for the national anthem. We would encourage all students to practice and say the pledge.
This week's reward system winner for junior high is Ashley Hepler from Mrs. Live, and for senior high, it's Bobby Gibba from Mr. Wazlowski's homeroom. Please claim your prize in the office.
I'm Doug Wiest.
And I'm Audrey Mastician.
Put a little sunshine in your day.